Hello. Today I want to share a healing session with family constellations that I did with a client of mine, a private session. My client, she also participated in a group of family constellations with me, and she was chosen as a representative of a perpetrator. So, quite dark energy. And at the end of the constellations, she couldn't completely shake this energy off. And then after 1 week, she contacted me to ask, like, else I'm still a bit influenced by this role that I got, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what it triggers in my energy field or in my family system. So can we look together? So she came and then we did an individual family constellation to see where this trigger, where this feeling came from. So I did a family constellation, and there it was her grandfather with whom she was connected that gave this feeling. So the grandfather was a farmer and he had endured the World War II. And he's from Belgium, as me, and in the Flemish part, it was really a war zone. So he had a farm, and the German perpetrators at that time, the Nazis, they came in and they wanted to take his farm, use his buildings, and also take his animals for food, to have something to eat. And the grandfather of my client, he was a very rebellious person, and of course, he couldn't resist it. He just took it and did it. But then behind their back, he tried to give food to the people of the village. And when he heard that the Germans wanted to take somebody from the village, he warned them to say, "Oh, you have to hide. You're searching for you. Go and hide." So he was a really rebellious person. And his attitude towards the Nazis at the time was really fighting, what is quite normal in a war situation, of course. And he was fighting, and he he didn't feel his own body or his own emotions anymore. He was just fighting, fighting, fighting. And he didn't want to show to the Nazis that he was hurt or that they broke his spirit. He didn't want to admit it for himself and for the Nazis. So he had an attitude of, you can't break my spirit. I'm going to fight till I die, and you can't get me. So this was his attitude. But of course, now this man, this grandfather, already died a long time ago. And in the constellation, in the family constellation, we saw that his grandfather was in fact still fighting. He didn't yet let this energy go. So in the family constellations, I invited also healing. And then when this energy came in, the grandfather finally could fall down on the ground, and he felt what had happened to him. He felt all the emotions, he felt the pain, he felt the anger, he felt the fear, he felt everything. And he also admitted for the first time, like, damn, they broke my spirit. But he could admit it. And that's why he fell down on the ground. So also his body could heal and could take the time to recover and to feel everything what had happened. So, and after a while, he, in the family constellation, of course, he stood up again and he felt a new kind of strength. And in this constellation, he stood up and he could face the Nazis. And it was from a completely different strength. But there was a much bigger consciousness around him. And he stood and he confronted the Nazis, like he was saying, it's not okay what you did. Um, you killed a lot of people, um, and you broke my spirit, and you took my life at the farm, the people I loved. It's really not okay. But from his consciousness, from his spirit, he spoke, and he was not afraid anymore. And also, this strength is so beautiful, is so much more powerful than only fighting. And then we could see in the family constellations that this kind of attitude also influenced the Nazis. So and this is always the case, perpetrators also are disconnected from their spirit. When you do something like this, you don't feel anymore neither. So these Nazis were also disconnected from their spirit, and because now in the family constellation, because of the grandfather standing there aligned in his consciousness, also the Nazis felt like we're changing, and they felt like, whoa, whoa, it's true. What we did was really not okay. And they felt also pain, and they felt also guilt, and other emotions that they couldn't feel during their life. So, because of one person standing in his alignment, in connection with his spirit, the other persons are influenced by that and can make, if they want to, also this connection with their spirit. And this is what happened in the family constellation. So there was a beautiful reconciliation between these two parts. And then finally, the grandfather could look at his granddaughter, my client, who was with me, and could say, like, I am so proud of you. And you can let my story completely with me. I need my story to transform and to be able to grow, but you don't have to carry this anymore. It's not your story. And you can live your life, and you may discover the things on your path. And I love you very much, and I support you with all the love of my being. And we could really feel this love. It was very, very, very beautiful. And also for the client, she could let go of the hard past, the traumas in the past from the war, and she could fill herself with the support and the love of her grandfather. So this was a really beautiful lesson again from the family constellation. And then I can ask you, and myself, of course, also, where in your life do you still fight? Where in your life is it difficult to keep the connection with your spirit or with your heart? Um, yeah, so that's possible that you do it, for example, or that your children triggers you, that your children are triggering you, and that it's difficult to stay connected, to stay in the heart. Or it's possible that your partner triggers you, and that you become hard or disconnected or something else. Or maybe also your work, in your work, that you can um, fight, having a fight attitude. I have to do this, I'm going to do this, and that you don't feel anymore. For example, for me, and of course, there are also other areas where it is possible that have this fighting attitude. So for me, for example, my children are already young adults. But when my daughter was 3 years old, so that's a while ago, she had tantrums. She felt a lot of aggression and anger. And when she had these tantrums, it was difficult for me. I also became angry, and I knew with my head that I didn't have to be too hard on her, but I couldn't be in the softness at that time. And when she was 3, I started to realize, like, whoa, my child is having a tantrum. Maybe she doesn't feel so good. Maybe she needs something. And from that moment on, I tried, of course, tried because it didn't succeed from the first time. We all need a lot of experience. Um, we need a lot of situations to be able to uh, try out a new attitude. So, but then when she had a tantrum, I could ask, like, hi, daughter, what is going on? Why are you so mad? What happened? And what do you need? So this was a big shift for me. And another fighting attitude for me is also in my work. So when I want to achieve something, I can really go on my willpower. And when I want to manifest something, I can really go straight forward. I want to finish this. I go on, and I can go on for hours or days, but then I don't feel I'm not in contact anymore with my body. So I know this. So now when I feel this energy coming, I try after a few hours to take a break, to do breathing exercises, to feel my belly again, to feel my body like, oh, I'm a bit hungry. Oh, I'm a bit tired. I have to rest first. So I think, of course, it's also in our society that we have to work from then till then, and we have to finish things, and we all have deadlines, and so forth and so forth. But I think it's good when you realize when you are in the fighting mode, and when you can become softer, when you can make contact again with your body, with your heart, with your spirit, and try to go on in a softer way in contact with your body. So you can look for yourself where you still have this fighting attitude that we inherited from the previous generations, of course. But we are the generation that is searching for a new balance, a new healthy way of living. And I'm curious, of course, what the next generation, what their challenge is going to be. But this is our challenge for the moment, I think, of one of our challenges, of course. So look at your own life and look where you still have a fighting attitude and where you can become more soft and in contact with your heart or with your spirit. Okay, I hope this video inspired you. And if so, it would be nice to give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.